Hello, hello everyone. So I hope so. Everyone is fine doing at your homes. So in the last videos, we had completed successfully chemical kinetics, which was a first chapter, which I have completed successfully in YouTube channel, in my upper chemistry classes YouTube channel. Those who not watched the videos of chemical kinetics, once you visit that one chemical kinetics folder and you can see all those videos. So mostly above 95% of content, and along with for each model, for each concept, I had given the some model questions also. So once you go through with it, definitely you are going to like. So now today coming to the next one, that is general organic chemistry. So which is a basic, completely basic. Around some videos I will make only on basic concepts. So first today's class we are going to see the general introduction, classification of organic compounds. So how to represent these organic compounds, what is the history of organic compounds, just a brief history. I won't say more story about it. So we can discuss a lot for that. So I will say briefly, okay, what are the points which are important for competitive point of view, those only I will focus. And after that, if possible, we'll continue the hybridization in case of organic chemistry. Okay, na? So let's get into the next, that is general organic chemistry. So in that first, we have to discuss the introduction part. Now why we have separate chapter for single element? What is that single element? Carbon. For single carbon atom, we have separate chapter, that is what organic chemistry. Okay, now for single element, that is carbon. So why we have to learn more about carbon? So what are the different properties of carbon? So if it is having some special characters, then only we can learn the more about it. Is it or not? For example, if you are taking whatever the daily life, whatever the matter which is there, if it is burnt, if you are getting ash means, definitely it contains the carbon. So any matter you can take, any item or any thing you take, so in that carbon content is major. Okay, it is some quantity will be present in it. Is it or not? So that is what the carbon is present all over the world. Is it or not? From starting to for the end, so everywhere the carbon is the main constituent. Why that single element carbon with atomic number 6 and atomic mass 12 AMU? So why it is showing these many properties? Why it is forming these many number of compounds? What are the reasons? So those all we are going to see. Okay, these all you know in lower classes. Once again I will recall those. Okay, so in that first general introduction of organic chemistry, so first we have to see the water. So we have to see the why carbon is forming some numerous number of compounds. Some millions of compounds are there, carbon. So why those many millions of compounds? Why carbon is forming those millions of compounds? So due to some reasons, right? So what are those? Due to tetravalency. So no other element will have this tetravalency except that fourth group. So carbon will have the tetravalency, which indicates which is the maximum valency in total periodic table, which was shown by the fourth group. In that fourth group, so first element will be carbon. So that carbon will have the maximum valency, and also fourth group family will have the maximum valency, that is tetravalency. Now what is the special character? Why not silicon compounds are more? Okay, now why not germanium compounds are more? Why only carbon? We'll see. So that is first reason is tetravalency. That is first reason. Another reason is multiple bond character. Multiple bond character. Multiple bond nature or character. So in between the carbon and carbon, we can form the single bonds. Carbon to carbon single bond, it may be possible. In between carbon and carbon, it may be double bonds also possible. In between carbon and carbon, we have the triple bond. But that character of forming the multiple bonds, single, double, triple. So all type of bonds are possible with carbon. But that possibility is not for the silicon, germanium, other group, other elements in that group. Okay, so for that reason, it is having more number of compounds. And also, you can take the multiple bond nature is very important. After that, you can see the isomerism character. isomerism character. Due to isomerism nature of these carbon compounds will form the what numerous number, that is some millions of compounds are there due to isomerism. And next is what catenation property, which is very very important. In lower classes also you have learned what is meant by catenation. Catenation in the sense self-linking property. The self-linking property of an atom to form the longest chain compounds or to form the ring-like compound is more for the carbon atom. So, will it show other elements also catenation? Yes, definitely. So many elements are showing the catenation property. So, catenation property is more for which one? Carbon. So, how we can decide that catenation property? It depends on the bond strength. It depends on the bond strength. Now, you can see in case of catenation, now here what happens, this carbon can link with some hundreds, some millions of carbon atom like that. So, will that when it is linking more number of carbon atom in the straight chain formation or in ring-like formation, so will that bond will be weaker? Will that bond will be weaker? No, it won't be weaker. So what happens here, the bond strength is very high, that is around 351.5 kilojoules of heat and that much bond energy it has, 350 kilojoules of bond energy it has. So that bond energy is very highest for carbon to carbon atom. So to break that CC bond, we need more amount of energy. But whereas if you are taking sulfur, each sulfur atom can bind with other sulfur atom like up to S8 in its molecule. You can take phosphorus, also having the P4 catenation property, ozone O3, oxygen molecule O2. These all will have the catenation, but it is limited to some number only. But whereas that carbon catenation is not having any limitation, so it can form the water. Some millions of carbon atoms can be linked with one another, and they can form the water longest chain compounds as well as ring-like compound. That is one of the most important property of catenation. It is also called self-linking property. It is also called what? Self-linking property. Self-linking property of a atom. Self-linking of atom is said to be what? Catenation property. Next, fifth one is what? Most important, allotropic. Allotropic forms. Allotropic forms. So allotropic forms are nothing but what? We can define the allotropes as what? The element, single element which can have the what? Two or more different physical forms. Okay, na? But more or less similar chemical properties. Then such type of compounds are said to be what? Allotropes of that element. Say for example, we are taking the what? Carbon, coal we are taking, and charcoal we are taking. I am taking this ink. Okay, na? So these all will contains the what? Main constituent will be carbon. So ink contains the carbon. So charcoal contains the carbon. Coal contains the carbon. All are having same atom. Their atomic number is same, mass number is same. Their physical properties are more or less similar. But what happens there? Chemical properties are same, more or less similar chemical properties. But what happens? Physical properties. Now coal you take, coal will be harder one, and it can need the water more temperature to convert into flame. So but whereas if you are taking the water powdered form of coal, it require less. And we have the water different form, charcoal, lamp black. Okay. So whatever the ink which we are using in case of water printers, those printers ink, those all will comes under water allotropic forms of carbon. There are mainly two types of allotropic forms are there. So what are those? Crystalline form of allotropes, crystalline forms and amorphous forms. Crystalline forms and amorphous forms of carbon allotropes. So that what is meant by crystalline, what is meant by amorphous, those we will discuss in case of solid state. Okay, now don't worry. Just you do remember the what examples. So best example for crystalline form will be what? Diamond and graphite. Diamond and graphite. Best example. So you can take the fullerene, nanotubes. Those all will comes under in crystalline form of carbon allotropes. So amorphous form you can take the what? Coal, charcoal, lamp black, okay na, ash, those all you can take in that amorphous form of carbon allotropes. Sir, Will it form other elements also? Yes. So many elements will have the what different types of allotropic forms. You can take phosphorus, white phosphorus, red phosphorus, scarlet phosphorus, alpha black phosphorus, beta black phosphorus, like that we have. And sulfur, you can take rhombic sulfur, monoclinic sulfur, like that we have different types of allotropes of sulfur will be there, phosphorus, like that different, but carbon will have the what more number of allotropic forms. So due to these special character of carbon, so carbon is having the what special study for separate chemistry for the what carbon. Is it reasonable to keep the what carbon for carbon separate study or not? Yes, it is reasonable. We have to study about more about what carbon, because it is having these many properties, special characters are there. He is a special person, so we have to discuss more about this carbon. Is that clear, everyone? So that is what tetravalency, maximum valency of carbon. That is what multiple bond nature, single bond, double bond, triple bond between the carbon atom. Isomerism, having same molecular formula, but it can form the what more number of structural forms. Catenation property, allotropic forms. These all will be what major reasons why we have to study the what separate book for the studying of carbon. Is that clear, everyone? So let's get into the what general. So general concept, general history of carbon. Now that is what in the initial stage. In the initial stage, Lavoisier is the scientist. He classified the what matter into three categories. That is what matter which is originated from Lavoisier. He classified the matter into mainly three categories. So which is matter which is originated from mineral, or simply mineral origin. Matter is classified as mineral origin, and next is what living, that is animal origin. Matter which is obtained from animal origin, and which is obtained from what plants, or vegetable origin. Okay, so these are the major classification of Lavoisier which he given. So the matter which is obtained from the mineral, these are said to be what simply inorganic compound. The matter which is obtained from living beings, that is from plants and animals, those are considered as what organic. These two are considered as organic because living beings. Organic means what? Living. From living being, whatever the matter which we are getting, that is what we are calling organic. It is what from non-living being. So it is what inorganic. So now one scientist is there, Berzelius. He defined the organic compound as some mysterious force will be present between the matter. So due to that only it is existing in the living beings, that is from plants and animals. If that mysterious force is absent, so organic compounds are not exist. He told that mysterious force he called as what? Vital force theory. So he proposed the what? Vital force theory. So simply vital force in the sense what? It is an invisible force which is present between the matters, which is present in case of what? Animals and in plants. That is what? Those are living beings. So in that living beings only that force is there. So for that reason all organic compounds are obtained only from living beings, which are not obtained from non-living being, that is from minerals. Is that clear? So but what happens next after Lavoisier, Berzelius came. After that Höhler is a scientist. What he has done, he is the scientist of 1828. Okay, around 1828. What he has done, he want to prepare something new compound from ammonium cyanate. He has taken the water, ammonium cyanate. So say for example, he has girlfriend. So what he has done, he kept heating for that ammonium cyanate. It is an inorganic compound. It is what? Ammonium cyanate. This inorganic compound, he want to heat and he want to prepare something new compound. Just he want to heat by this inorganic compound, he want to prepare some new compound. In the meanwhile, what happens? His girlfriend called him. So then what happens? He go on talking and he forget whatever the heating he kept. So then what happens? Meanwhile, after some 1 hour, 2-3 hours after that, when he came and he observed his reaction, he found that urea is found. He found the urea is formed. Okay, now. So what he found? Urea. Urea is obtained from what? From animals. Is it or not? That is from urea is present in urine. So that is urea is observed. So he shocked that. So Berzelius told that vital force is necessary for the organic compound. But what happens? Without any vital force, this is an inorganic compound. When it is heated strongly for long period of time, then he found the what? Urea. Then he ruled out that vital force theory. So he told that vital force is not necessary for the preparation of organic compound. So I prepared the urea successfully, he told, and he break the what? Vital force which is present in the matter. Okay, now. So after Hohler, so many scientists are rushed into the lab and they started inventing the new organic compound. So in that next scientist who? Kolbe. So Kolbe is the scientist. He prepared the 1845. He prepared acetic acid. So after that what? After that Berthollet is the scientist. One more. Berthollet. He is another scientist. Around 1856. So he prepared the what? Methane. So like that, after the invention of this scientist in the laboratory, this acetic acid is prepared from the what? Some elements. He prepared the what? Methane from compounds. From elements, constituent element, he prepared the acetic acid. From the compounds, he prepared the what? Methane. Now, what happens after invention of this organic compound in the laboratory? So, after that, so many organic compounds are invented in the laboratory. So, that mysterious force, those all will be ruled out. Is that clear? This is the simple history of organic chemistry. So, it is a somewhat important one. These things you need to remember. Is that clear? So, next we are going to see the what? Representation of organic compounds. First, we will see the representation of organic compound. After that, we are going to see the classification of organic compound. It is completely introduction part, but which is very important one. So, whatever the first concept which I had explained, it is very, very important. Next is what are representation of this carbon compound. Representation of carbon compounds. So here the combination of carbon and hydrogen. Are said to be what? Hydrocarbons. Other than this carbon and hydrogen, if any other atoms are there, like what? Oxygen, nitrogen, halogens, okay, sulfur, phosphorus, then these are all atoms are said to be what? Heteroatoms. These all atoms are said to be what? Heteroatoms. Is that clear? So when we have to say hydrocarbon, only carbon and hydrogen, hydrocarbon. Other than carbon and hydrogen, then it is said to be what? Heteroatoms. Now first we will see the what? Representation of organic compound. Okay, na? So once we are going to see the what? Representation of organic compound, that organic compound is represented as in different forms will be there. So in that first one, I am going to see condensed form. So condensed form means what are here? So how many number of atoms are there? That atoms are represented as it is. Say for example, if I am saying methane, so this methane is represented as what? CH4. So in this methane, what happens? One carbon is there, 4 hydrogen atoms are there. So similarly, I can represent the what? Ethane. So just we are representing how many number of atoms are there. Those atoms are represented as it is, C2H6. And if you say the what? Propane, so propane will have the what? C3H8. The number of atoms present in that molecule is represented in the form of what formula. That is what we are calling condensed form. Next is what second form of representation of carbon compound, that is Lewis dot structures. Lewis dot structures. So what are Lewis dot structures? You know that Lewis dot symbol is nothing but what which implies the what number of valence electron which are present in it. Say for example, carbon will have the water. Carbon will have how many Lewis dots in its, because in the carbon how many number of valence electrons are there? 4. So we have to keep the water 4. Now in methane 4 hydrogens are there. So 4 hydrogens here. So you can take stars or dots. So I am taking the stars for the hydrogen valence electrons. I am taking dots for the water carbon. So these 2 dots will be shared between these two. By sharing one pair of electron, what happens? One bond is formed. By sharing 2 pair of electron, 2 bonds are formed. By sharing 3 pair of electron, triple bond is formed between the atoms. Now in between the carbon and hydrogen, how many pair of electrons are shared? 1 pair. So we are getting the water 1 bond between the carbon and hydrogen. So in between the water, here 1 bond, here also 1 bond. You can take here stars, here bond is formed. Okay, so now in between the carbon atom, so around the carbon atom how many bonds are formed? 4. Because this carbon is sharing with what? 4 pair of electrons with the 4 hydrogen. This is what Lewis dot structure. You know that what that dots represents here. So those dots represent number of valence electron. Okay, now it not represent the total number of electrons which are present in an atom, which represent number of valence electron. Those valence electrons only responsible for chemical bond formation. That you do remember. So next one is what? Next is dash form. Dash form. Dash form. Dash form in the sense what? We have to represent the bond between the atoms in the form of dash. Say for example, if I am taking the water methane. So methane condensed form is CH4. In between the carbon and hydrogen, 4 dash we have to write. So always you do remember whatever the compound it should be, the carbon should get the water 4 bonds. That you need to remember. So wherever if you are not writing 4 bonds means that structure is incorrect, that carbon compound is not exist at all. Okay, now we have to satisfy carbon tetravalency. It is called what? A dash form. We are representing the line between the atoms. So that line indicates the water dash. And also you can take the water ethane. Ethane. So in ethane what happens? Condensed form will be C2H6. So 2 carbons. So we have to write the water first like this. Dash we have to write. After that you distribute the hydrogen atoms equally. So each atom will get the water 3 hydrogen atoms. 3 hydrogen atoms like this. So each carbon will have 4 bonds or not. Each hydrogen will have 1 bond or not. We have to check. Okay, na? That is the what dash form of representation of ethane. Like that you can represent. So next 4th one, that is bond line representation, which is very important. Mostly we are using this bond line form for fast writing. Bond line form, which is an easy one. Here in bond line form, we won't represent any atoms. Okay, if carbon and hydrogen are there, we won't represent those carbon and hydrogen. If hetero atom is there, they definitely will represent. Is that clear? So here, how to identify how many number of carbon atoms are there and how many number of hydrogen atoms are there, that we will see here. So here, just it is what a bond line form. This is one line. This line indicates what a methane. Ethane, sorry. This line indicates what a ethane. Now this terminal positions will be there, no? The terminal position of bond line. Terminal position. The terminal positions indicates CH3. Okay, now this is also indicates what? CH3. Now if I am taking like this, so these 2 terminal positions indicates what? This terminal positions indicates what? CH3, because this carbon is already having 1 bond. So 3 more bonds with what? 3 more hydrogen atoms. Now whatever the corners indicates, one carbon. Each corner indicates, this is a corner. So each corner indicates one carbon atom. Each corner indicates carbon atom. So how many corners are there? Those many carbon atoms will be there. So this is a corner. End will be what? Indicates one CH3, one carbon will be there. So like that we have to represent. Here one carbon is there. This carbon already has 2 bonds. We have to keep 2 more bonds. Then how many hydrogens it will be? 2 more hydrogens. That indicates, so it has the what? 2 hydrogen atoms and 2 bonds. Is that clear? So we'll take the another example. So now in this case, now you see here this terminal carbons are what? So this is similar to what? CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. Is that clear? The terminal carbons are what? CH3 carbons. Here this corner indicates what? One carbon atom. This corner also indicates one carbon atom. Already it has the what? 2 bonds. This is one bond, this is one bond. So for this carbon atom also, this is one bond, this is another bond. So it has 2 bonds. To satisfy its tetravalency, we have to write the what? 2 more hydrogen atoms. That is 2 more hydrogen atoms. Is that clear? So one more I am taking. So now in this case, this carbon is already has the what? 3 bonds. 1, 2, 3. So one more hydrogen will be there. Is that clear? So now you take the what here? In this case, this carbon is already has the what? 4 bonds. No need of writing any hydrogen. Is that clear? Bond line form. Is that clear, everyone? So the representation of carbon compounds, 4 types of representation, which is very important. Those who have minimum basics, we should have this one. So condensed form, Lewis dot structure, and dash form and bond line form. This dash form and bond line form, condensed form are very important. Lewis dot structures we won't use repeatedly. Is that clear? So next we are going to see the classification of organic compounds. Next, classification of organic compounds here. So these organic compounds are mainly classified into 2 categories. Just you see the observe the classification. So which is very important. So the terminology is very important. You try to observe that. Organic compounds are classified into 2 categories. That is what? Based on structure and based on the type of bond. First we are going to see the based on type of bond. So mainly we have the what? In between the carbon atom we have 2 types of bonds are there. Saturated bond and unsaturated bond. Saturated bond in the sense what? Which can completely burn and will give the what? So will give the blue colored flame. Unsaturated compounds in the sense what? Which can incompletely burn due to more content of central atom. So which can burn incompletely and will give the what? So much of smoke. Okay, that such type of compounds are said to be what? Unsaturated compound. Now saturated and unsaturated. Saturated in the sense what? In between the carbon and carbon we have single bonds are there. Then it is said to be what? Saturated compound. In between carbon and carbon it should be single bond. Then it is said to be what? Saturated organic compounds. Now that saturated organic compounds are said to be what? Saturated hydrocarbons are said to be alkanes, which has the general formula you know already. That is CnH2n plus 2, which is very important. Again we will see in depth of alkanes, alkynes. Next, unsaturated hydrocarbon. Unsaturated hydrocarbon means the sense between the atoms more than one type of bond, that is double bond or triple bond, then it is said to be what? Unsaturated compounds. So here what are alkenes? In the sense what? In between the carbon and carbon we should have the what? 2 bonds. Alkynes in the sense what? In between the carbon and carbon we should have the what? 3 bonds. Then only it is said to be what? Alkyne. Now alkenes will have the what? General formula CnH2n it will be. Now alkynes will have the what? General formula, that is CnH2n minus 2. Is that clear? So based on the what? Type of bond, that is the classification. Now next we are coming to the what? Based on structure, which is very very important. That is what? Alicyclic compound and a cyclic compound. This word you have to remember. Acyclic compound and cyclic compound. Acyclic in the sense what? It is also called open chain compound without any cyclic ring. They are said to be what? Acyclic compound. The name itself only, without cyclic. So open chain compound, like what? You can take the propane. So here what happens? Carbon atoms are arranged like this: CH3, CH2, CH3. It is which form it is? Which form it is? Which form? It is a dash form. So we are placing the water line between the water carbon atom. We are representing the atoms, and between the atoms we are representing the water lines. That is dash. You can take the water butane. So I am writing here water butane. If I am writing this one, means it is which line? Which form of representation? It is a bond line representation. Is that clear? So these are called what? Acyclic compound or open chain compound. Next, cyclic compounds. Cyclic compounds are of two types, homocyclic and heterocyclic. Okay na? So what is mean by heterocyclic compounds? We'll see first. Hetero and homo. Just now I told you before this. Hetero atom, other than carbon and hydrogen, whatever the atoms are there, those atoms are considered as what? Hetero atom, like what? Nitrogen, phosphorus, oxygen. Okay, whatever it may be, halogens. If those atoms are included in the cyclic ring, then it is said to be what? Heterocyclic. Homocyclic in the sense what? Only carbon and hydrogen. Other than carbon and hydrogen, no other atoms are there, then it is called what? Homocyclic. Is that clear? Now we will see the water here. Homocyclic are again two types. Alicyclic homocyclic compound, aromatic homocyclic compound. Next, heterocyclic compounds are again two types. Alicyclic heterocyclic compound, aromatic heterocyclic compound. Now you see here, first we will see the homocyclic, alicyclic homocyclic compound. Means what? Here cyclic ring will be there. I told you that each corner indicate one carbon atom. Already two bonds are there. It has the what? Two hydrogen. It also has the two bonds, two hydrogen. This is what? Cyclic ring with the same carbon and hydrogen atoms only. Then it is comes under what? Homocyclic. Don't confuse alicyclic and acyclic. Acyclic in the sense what? It is an without any carbon chain, without any ring-like structure. It is a open chain. But alicyclic in the sense it is a cyclic ring with only one type of carbon atom, that is homocyclic. So you can take the water cyclobutane, you can take the cyclopentane, you can take the cyclohexane, you can take cycloheptane, like that you can take. So these all will comes under what? Alicyclic compound. Next is what? Aromatic compound. Aromatic compounds in the sense, just you do remember here, just the benzene ring containing compounds are aromatic. We will have the what? Separate study on that aromatic compounds. We will do separate video for that. Okay, we have to discuss more about it, so it will take much time. Just you simply remember the benzene ring containing compounds are what? Aromatic. It is a benzene, so two benzene rings are fused, it is also aromatic. So if the benzene ring containing compounds are what? Aromatic. Just you do remember that one. It is not always correct, just you do remember. Next, heterocyclic compound. Heterocyclic means what? One of the carbon atom from the homocyclic ring, one carbon atom is replaced by one hetero atom, like what? Nitrogen, phosphorus, or it may be halogen, whatever it may be. Then such type of compounds are said to be what? Heterocyclic. Now I am taking the water of cyclopropane. So from this what I am doing? In this case, I am replacing the water carbon with nitrogen and placing the water hydrogen atom. So I am taking the water, it is a cyclobutane. I am replacing the water one carbon atom with oxygen. Then it is said to be what? The nitrogen and oxygen atom should be represented. In case of cyclic ring, or it is in bond line form also, hetero atoms should be represented. And you can take the water, it is like a sulfur atom, we are representing like this. So sulfur atom. Okay, so this is what? Alicyclic heterocyclic compound. Hetero atoms are inserted in the cyclic ring, then it is called what? Alicyclic heterocyclic compound. Next is what? Aromatic heterocyclic compound. Aromaticity containing heterocyclic compound, like you can take the water, this is pyrrole. Next it is what? Oxygen containing aromatic heterocyclic compound is said to be what? Furan with 5-membered ring. And you can take the water thiophene with the sulfur, so it is called what? Thiophene. It is an thiophene. So it is furan, it is what? Pyrrole. So these are the water simple classification. So don't worry about this here classification. So just you do remember this acyclic compound and homocyclic alicyclic. in most of the NEET exams, in MSET exams, they will ask you to identify which of the following is acyclic compound, which of the following is alicyclic compound. They will give the names, they won't give the structures. So you should able to draw the structures also. I hope so everyone has some idea about what IUPAC names. So I will do that IUPAC names at the end after discussion of this reaction mechanism. Okay na? So first my students, so many are what demanded that they need some basic concepts. So to understand the second year organic chemistry. So for that reason, first introduction part, after that some more introduction part is there, that I will continue in the next video. After that I will start the reaction mechanism. Is that clear? So thank you everyone. Have a nice day.